back with another video. So today we actually built a workbench, finally. It's been long coming. I did do a time lapse of me completing this whole thing, minus the end because my camera died, but for the most part I'll insert clips of the whole time lapse of me building it. But check this thing out. This thing is freaking awesome. It's a nice like wood top. It's about 6 feet long, which is nice. Got some storage underneath. I'm gonna make shelves under here. I just need to pick up more wood to get this all situated. But yeah, I know, typical Subaru garage, 3 short blocks under there. And then we got some signs hung up on the wall, some old parts. I'm gonna put a bunch of old parts and stuff on the wall, but I still have some pretty cool ideas to go with that. But actually, in today's video, we are going to be ripping down that 3rd short block because that's the one that we're going to be sending out to Outfront. And I'm actually going to do like a full-fledged tutorial on how to split the case halves and disassemble an EJ. The last video I did on it, it was not really a full like tutorial. It was kind of like here and there. But I'm going to like break it down so you can follow step by step. If you are trying to disassemble one of these yourself, you can figure it out. So first things first, let's clear some stuff out from under there a little bit and get that on the table. Alright, so I know I've talked about it in the past, but this is it's a stock, fully stock, EJ. I think it's got like 27,000 or 37,000 miles on it, I don't know, but it spun a bearing. We are going to be using this set of case halves to send out to Outfront to get closed decked, and I'm actually going to have them do machining for 1/2-inch head studs and all that kind of stuff. But first thing first, let's pop this oil pan off. Alright, so to take off this oil pan, it is 14 10mm bolts. We're just going to go all the way around, pop them all off. Alright, so I normally take off the oil pan when it's on the engine stand, and I usually just, I don't know, but for demonstration purposes, I'm also not going to put it on an engine stand just to take the oil pan off, but usually pull it off the car, strip the heads off, strip the oil pan, pick up, all that kind of stuff. So usually it's RTB'd on. Well, it always is usually RTB'd on. But kind of just gotta finesse it off. Try not to like pry too much because you can bend it, but just kind of go for it. Alright, so you just gotta be gentle and eventually just work your way around, pry it out, and it'll come off. Holy shit. Is that all metal? Look at this. God damn. It's like sludge and metal. Oh, well, that's just beautiful. I'm really curious to see what the inside of this thing looks like. Alright, so next step, you're going to want to take the baffle and the oil pickup off. So for the oil pickup, there's one 10mm bolt here, full focus, one here, and then for the tray, there's this one also. Oh, wait, no, this one's not for the pickup, I'm sorry. It's these two up here for the pickup, and then one over here. This isn't focusing right. This will focus. And then you have two on the bottom for the tray, and then one here and one here. So let's start ripping that tray out and the pickup, and we'll get a closer look on what's really going on in this motor. Alright, so you got your oil pickup. Comes out very, very, very easily. Same with the tray. Very easy. So we will set these to the side. These I will keep in a separate bin. I like to keep all my bolts and stuff organized. Okay, so I have explained in the past that Subarus are weird, and you actually, to pull the pistons and rods and crank and everything, you have to pull the pistons out first. Then you have to split the block in half, or the case halves. Split that, and then you can take out the crank and the rods connected, and then you have to disconnect the rods from the crank. Alright, so first step is we are going to need to remove some plugs or access holes. So let me get this thing flipped all around and I will show you what I'm talking about. Alright, so I realized just now this motor, they already took them out, but this is what they look like. They're Allen head things, like plugs. They are a size 14, so you're going to need a 14 socket Allen, and I will show you where they come from. So there's going to be one right here, one right here, and then there's also some on the back side, which we'll get to that in a second. So you're going to want to take all of these out, set them to the side. Let me get this flipped around and I'll show you the back. So the ones on the back side are not taken out. You have 2 screws here, and there's one access panel behind, or access hole behind there, and you got to take this plate off as well. So let's grab some stuff and we'll start taking these off. Alright, so I actually don't have an Allen socket small enough at home. For this, on my motor, it was, I think they were just like 10mm bolts. But we will improvise. I found an Allen, just an Allen key, and just throw a wrench on it. You shouldn't be torqued down too tight. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's not bad. Alright, so this is either going to work or it's going to be a bad day. But I have a feeling I'm going to end up drilling these out anyway. So, you know what? Let's give it a go. Oh, it worked! Oh shit, well I'll be damned. Alright, watch, this one's not gonna. Ho ho ho! It did. Also, I got a new impact. It's super nice and fancy, and it has like a bunch of modes on it. It's great. It's great. But yeah, 3/8 to 1/4 inch adapter with a 1/4 inch socket to fit the thing. Eh? Well, that's great. Okay. These plates just come off, and then same with these. I'm gonna start just getting the rest of these off. Wasn't that just lovely? Alright, well, let's break out the drill. Ooh, I wonder if I just hammer the shit out of a Torx in there. Okay, for this one I got out, I just hammered a bigger Torx in, and that seemed to work, so. Sweet. I don't know about the other ones. That one will be able to do it. I don't know about this one, because I already drilled it out. I didn't think. I didn't think to do that, so let me see, maybe I have a bigger Torx that I can use. But you know what, let's give it a try. No. Alright, we got the other one out, but still that one I'm a little worried about, because I already drilled it, so if I do put an Allen or a Torx into it, chances are it's probably just gonna snap the bolt. If it does, then that's a other problem. Maybe? Who knows? Nope. Shit. Alright, we got the other one out. We had to drill it out. And I'll have to drill out the rest of it and tap it or whatnot, whatever. I'm really not worried about it too much. But yeah, okay. So basically, now that you have those off, you can pop these off. This will give you access to be able to take... Oh, is that metal in there? Oh, God. Okay. Well, yeah, this is going to be interesting. So, basically, gives you access to be able to pull the wrist pins out and pop them out so you can actually get the pistons out of the short block. And then there is the 14 millimeter Allen head. It's the only 1/2 inch I have at home. Pop that out. And then boom, there's your other access port. So basically now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to turn the motor over until these ports line up. It's hard to see, but you can see the wrist pin and the clip. You see how it's lined up? Basically what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take that clip out, and then from the access port on the back, you're going to want to take a long screwdriver and kind of bang out that wrist pin and then crank it over so the piston is at the top, and then you're going to want to stick something under through where the oil pan was and kind of bang it out to get that one out of the way, and you're going to want to do that with all 4. I will be going into details of exactly how I do that, but for tonight I think I'm done, but I'll show you just how to take this clip out. It's super easy. Let's see if I can get a good video of it. So you basically just take needle nose, and it's hard to see, but it just sits in there just like that, and you just pull it out. So yeah, basically that's what you're gonna do, but we will get into more details in a minute. Alright, so I don't know if this will be able to be seen. I mean, you can kind of see it. If you come, it won't focus, but basically on top of that rod all the way back over there, you can see the other end of the wrist pin. So basically what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to put a long screwdriver or something that you can fit in there that's not going to damage anything, and you have to bang out the wrist pin. So let's find something and let's start banging it out. Alright, so I forgot my big long screwdriver at work, but I have a nice long drill bit, which it's already dull as crap, so I'm just going to use this. Obviously I'm going to put this end towards the wrist pin. So basically what you want to do, so you're going to want to line it up so it sits on the wrist pin. I might have to crank this over a tiny bit more. Oh no, actually no, that'll work. That'll work. And basically what you're going to want to do, simple as that. And here you are. Here's your wrist pin. It's very straightforward, actually. A lot of people get a little anxious when taking apart Subaru motors. It's not that difficult. And so now you just go and do that for each one. So for the next one, we'll crank it over, and we will line this one up and pop it out, pop the clip out, and then flip it around and do the other side. So, like I said, fairly straightforward. It's going to be the same for each one. And just whichever clip you take out, you have to just hammer it from the other side. So I'm going to go through and do that. I'll probably just do this in a time lapse because it's kind of repetitive and it's all the same throughout each one. So let's go. we got all the wrist pins out. It is time to take the actual pistons out, and then once you get the pistons out, then we can split the case and take the crank of the rods out and see how much damage is done to this short block, but it shouldn't be too bad. Yeah, so let's flip this upside down so we can get access, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Alright, so now that we have it over, this way you can see we have access underneath. So basically, you're going to want to be careful. Where did I put my flashlight? Basically, you're going to want to be careful this time around because, see, you have very limited access. I mean, I'm going to crank it over so I have more room. But basically what you're going to want to do is put a long screwdriver or what, like the drill bit that I'm using, down through the cylinder and bang the piston out. But be very careful to only hit the piston and not the cylinder walls. Because if you hit the cylinder wall and scratch it up bad, that's not a good day at all. So let's crank this over a little bit, give myself some more room to access that piston, and we will pop it out. Also, side note, usually when taking apart motors and stuff, you definitely want to label which piston is what and what rod is what. These are all garbage pistons and rods. They're OEM. They're not being reused. But once I get this thing flipped over back normally, I will show you exactly what piston is what, like orientation-wise, like 1 through 4. But for my circumstance, I'm not reusing them, so I'm not labeling them. There's no point. But just one thing to keep note. Alright, so as you can see, a lot more access to that piston. Sorry for the light, but basically what you're going to want to do is take your long rod and basically just put it down into the piston and just kind of lightly tap it out until it pops out. You're going to want to do this with all 4 and just keep rotating it over and cranking it over until you have enough access. And yeah, so let's get these pistons out. Simple as that. It's not too hard. You just pop them out, and voila, there you go. So now we got to do 3 others, and then we can start getting ready to split the case. Alright, so we got pistons out. Let's see, I don't see any damage to the cylinder walls. I don't really see anything too bad. But now we can start splitting this case and getting the rods and the crankshaft out of here and inspecting those, and also then I have to send these case halves out to out front and get it closed decked and all that fun stuff, but that's for another video. So basically, Subarus are weird. They're 2 pieces of short block bolted together, which is like baffling. But it works, kind of, not really, sometimes. But so basically what we're gonna do to start is you're gonna wanna start removing these case bolts. I will go through in a second and show you exactly which bolts you need to touch and get off and what size they are, etc. So let's grab some tools and get to it. Alright, so first let's just pop the oil pump off. Oof. Yeah, there's some nice metal residue chilling in there. Look at that. Oof. That's not good. I'm pretty sure this block it spun a rod bearing, if I remember correctly. Okay, so to start to take these case half bolts out, or the case bolts, you're going to want a 12.12 millimeter for these. These are just a regular 12. So we're going to start with this one, this one, this one, this one, there, and there. And then we'll get back to the other ones. So let's buzz those out pretty quick, and then we'll move on. For the back, don't forget this one on the bottom. I forgot that last time. And I was like banging it, trying to separate the case halves, and I was like, why won't this freaking budge? And I'm like, why won't it split? Little did I know, probably need a wrench for that one. Little did I know. Is that a 10? Maybe, no, that's 12. But I feel like that one is very easy to forget because it's kind of just like hidden on the bottom. So yeah. All right, on this side there's 4. There's 1 here, 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 and here. So 2, 2. I believe that is it. It's just those 4. Yeah. Just those 4, and then we can start actually splitting the case. Oh wait, no. Just kidding. There's 1 over here on the side too. Yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're good. Alright, so on this side, there is actually 6. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you're going to want to break all of those free, get those out, and then we will actually start splitting the case halves in 2. So let's go ahead and get these broken free. Same as all the other ones, it's a 12 millimeter 12-point socket. Completely forgot about this one right here. You're gonna want to take that one out too, otherwise these are not gonna split. But basically you just beat it with a hammer until it splits. Yeah, so this is the most sophisticated part of splitting, dismantling a Subaru motor. And you take all the bolts out and you kind of just tap it with a nice mallet. Till it separates. And there you go. Alright, and then once you get it separated enough, you can kind of just wiggle it back and forth. So you keep just banging it, working it evenly. And then I'm going to flip this. And then basically, what you're going to want to do is just... Why does that rod not want to come out? This little pin. There we go. Yeah. And there you go. Easy as that. Honestly, the hardest part, in my opinion, is actually splitting the case halves. Let's grab this shaft out of here. I don't see any real damage to the actual case halves, which is freaking phenomenal, because these are the ones that we're going to be using for sure. Alright, so let's get these, and we'll take a look at this crank. This is the one that spun, you can see. There's grooves. Yeah. Well, yeah, there you go. Oh, yeah, pieces of metal. Alright, so there you go. That's how you split apart a Subaru short block. I hope you guys found this video useful and helpful. And if you did, definitely leave a like, hit that subscribe button, and see you guys in the next one.